Welcome everybody. Today is my first attempt at taking a kitchen cooking video for you guys today. I thought that this would be a fun one to try. This is my first time making the recipe. It's not every day that you need a whole salmon side in your life. Christmas is one of those occasions. So I decided this year for Christmas to make a gin and beetroot cured salmon dish for our Christmas Day starter, and you start off with an 800-gram salmon fillet. Now this is basically half a salmon. That's the whole side of one salmon there, and I got this from the fishmongers. Now what you need to do to prepare your salmon is, first of all, remove all the pin bones. Now, this is quite a tedious job. Basically, all you have to do is feel gently with your fingertips along the line of the salmon, and you will feel these little hard bumps. Now, that is the end of the pin bone. You don't want those in your salmon because, for one, nobody likes finding salmon bones in their fish, and it will also make it harder to slice at the end. So what you do is you gently feel for each and every pin bone, and then you grasp them firmly with your pair of kitchen tweezers. We all have separate kitchen tweezers, right? And then you pull firmly upwards, and this pin bone will then very easily slide out of the salmon fillet. It is pretty easy to feel everyone, and you will get a sense for where they are as well. Now this bit here, there was just a little bit of spine bone left, so I've just taken my sharp knife and removed that there. Any tidying up like this that you can do, you can ask your fishmonger, sorry, to prepare it as well as taking it apart. You can ask him to take out the pin bones and everything, but it may take a little time, but it's not a difficult job to do, and it's quite satisfying, I think. So all you have to do is just remove the pin bone. They're very evenly spaced. You can see I'm feeling along, making sure that I've got each and every one of them out. I'm not finding any bumps there. So then you can just get rid of your pin bones. We don't need those anymore. The next step is to remove the skin from your salmon fillet. So what you do is you firmly grasp the tail end of the skin, and you want to keep your sharp knife pretty much flat. You don't want it angling up because then it will leave too much skin on the too much flesh on the skin. And you don't want it angling down because then you'll cut through your skin and end up with skin still stuck to your fillet. So you just very firmly grasp the tail end and work your knife carefully up, keeping it flat to the board. You can see I was having a bit of difficulty here. I should have got a damp towel to put it on, but live and learn, eh? So there you go. You can see that that's pretty good for a first attempt at taking salmon skin off. And I do so love a salmon skin. You know, you can get salmon skin leather. That's going to go for the dog later. So there it is, my first filleted salmon skin. And I'm just checking again to make sure all the little bumps are gone, so there are no more bones in there. Now what I'm doing to prepare my curing mixture is 300 grams of beetroot. Add to that another 300 grams of rock salt. So I'm just measuring that out. And you want it without any caking agents or anything like that. When you're doing curing and you're using large amounts of salt, you don't want the bags of salt that have the anti-caking agents in. So that is just salt, nothing else. And then 300 grams of granulated sugar go in there as well. Now I'm going to pop the lid on and give it a good old blitz. Now this food processor is quite possibly the same age as me. I inherited it, so it's occasionally a little bit temperamental, just like me. So yeah, just give it a good old blitz, everything purees up, and it goes that gorgeous, gorgeous pink colour. I cannot resist pink food, beetroot, salmon, two of my favourites. What a brilliant combination. So this is where my rookie credentials come into play. I'm not great at the angles yet. There'll be more of that. I apologise. So into the beetroot and salt and sugar, I'm adding the zest of a lime. And you just want to get all the bits of the lime there. So you've got all of the goodness in there. That flavour will really nicely complement our beetroot there. And then the rest of the lime can go into my gin and tonic later. I've then got juniper berries and black pepper. Now what I'm going to do here is get the pestle and mortar, just a couple of teaspoons of juniper berries and about another, I would say, a teaspoon of ground black pepper. Give it a good old mash up just to break everything down and release all those gorgeous botanical flavours. And once you've got it all, you know, it doesn't have to be too finely mashed, but just making sure that all the bits are starting to break down so that you get the benefit of it really. There's no point in leaving it too big. That then goes in the mixture. And next, what we need to add is 150 ml of gin. This is a lovely Japanese gin that was a Christmas present from my uncle last year. Thank you, Uncle Richard. It is delicious. I love it. It's really gorgeous, bright and fresh, and I think it'll go really nicely with the flavours. And then just a few stalks of dill in there. Add the lid and give it another quick blitz to mix everything through and get all that dill chopped up. The stalks and everything can go in because you're pureeing it like that. Now what we need to do is take our salmon fillet and our beetroot curing mixture and big Ziploc bag. I love these IKEA Ziploc bags. I use them for so many things. They're just incredibly handy to have around the kitchen. And for things like this, it really couldn't be simpler. So you just want to get your salmon arranged in there, because do remember you want to have the maximum amount of area for it to mix with your curing liquid, and then tip in your curing liquid. I was trying to do this elegantly. It's not really an elegant job, and well, you know, I'll try and get better at camera angles. There we go. I was raised to always scrape out the container. There's a whole slice of cake left in that bowl, my mum would say. I always scrape out the last bits. So then just push out the air, seal your Ziploc bag and give it a bit of a massage. You want to work it so that the salmon fillet is lying flat and being exposed to as much of the curing liquid as possible. So just giving that a good work around, making sure there's plenty above and below and that the salmon fillet is pretty much flat. And there you go. So what I'm going to do is put that in the fridge for 3 days, and every 24 hours I will give it a bit of a massage.